Russian troops have shown us their tank assault skills more than once. In this video, we'll take a look at the craziest of them. The Russians launch an attack. One of the APCs is immobilized. The second rushes across the field and runs into mines. A Ukrainian drone is already in the sky. It is attacking the APC. But the Russians don't stop. The drone is heading for another target. Second attempt. The Russians really want to break through this line. They're launching defensive cover to evade the Ukrainian ATGMs. They must be very afraid of them. But it's not working. A missile strikes the Russian armored vehicles. One of the APCs is moving on. The drone is attacking it. It's destroyed. The Russians are retreating. They're throwing out heat traps for cover. But that can't stop the FPV drone. The APC is under attack. The drone makes a final attack. It's eliminated. The Russians aren't stopping there. They try to break through where other APCs have just been destroyed. Not successful. The drone starts dropping grenades. The assault has failed. FPV drones are attacking the stopped APCs. Look how carefully and wisely the Ukrainian operator does this. Yes, he directs the drone into a split in the armor of the APC. The damaged Russian armored vehicles are engulfed in flames. Another defeat. Let's take a look at this massive attack. We see Russian vehicles heading towards Ukrainian positions. The assault is underway. A Ukrainian soldier takes aim at a Russian tank and fires a missile. Boom! The tank burst into flames. A second shot is fired from the Javelin. The tank turns into a cloud of fire. Third missile is in the air. The missile travels a long distance and hits the target accurately. This APC is trying to escape. The drone is carefully tracking it. It is hit by an RPG missile. The APC is instantly ignited. This tank isn't trying to escape. It's firing back. The AFU says hello to it. The missile doesn't stop it, but it does make it retreat. Powerful detonation. The tank's turret goes into the sky. Good work, Javelin. Another massive tank attack. 2 armored groups, 2 tanks and 6 APCs. Their problems start right at the beginning. One of the tanks crashes into the second tank, thereby immobilizing it. The Russians are forced to abandon it. It's driven off so it doesn't interfere with the traffic. The Ukrainians are using all possible weapons of mass destruction, and here's the first result. The tank managed to pass through, but the APC was blown up by a mine. The second APC is trapped. After traveling a little farther, the tank also explodes on a mine. Ukrainians attack the abandoned armored vehicles. The drone strikes the tank. And now the APC. And another one. Here comes the tank the Russians lost at the beginning of the assault. The second drone reaches its target. The ammunition ignites. And here's the result. The Russians lost all of their armored vehicles involved in this attack. That attack is complete. But pay attention to this one. A tank, 2 APCs, a tank, and another APC. That's how the Russians are advancing. Reconnaissance is transmitting detailed information about each target. For some reason, the column stops. One of the APCs trying to back up crashes into another. It all looks like panic. It's clear the Russians are confused and fleeing. And here's the reason. The tank is stuck in the crater from the explosion. One of the APCs has been hit. The second one is abandoned and rolling towards the Ukrainians, so the Russians want to buy some time. The assault has failed. The Ukrainians are removing the abandoned vehicles. Wooden defense didn't help, and the APC is destroyed by flames. And now I'm going to show you something interesting. The storming of these AFU positions was of great importance to the Russians. At least 6 units of equipment. The AFU are actively using artillery. And this very much resembles a shot from an ATGM. The enemy's 6 units of armored vehicles continue to advance. The shells and missiles explode without reaching the target. This direct hit on the APC doesn't stop it. Another direct missile hit without any result. One of the tanks was blown up by mines. The tank is stopped. The Russians continue their attack. 1 tank and 3 APCs remain in working condition. And here are the Ukrainian positions. The enemy's vehicles are getting closer. The landing of enemy infantry begins. Soldiers are going down into the trench. It's hard to say whether the landing point is right or wrong. Now the enemy soldiers are between 2 groups of Ukrainians. Ukrainians keep attacking the armored vehicles. Unfortunately, the ATGM missile misses. But there is a surprise ahead for this tank. The 2 tanks have been stopped by mines. The Russians, realizing that the first group of paratroopers is already in position, and sending reinforcements. A tank and 3 APCs. The last APC in the group manages to stop. The Ukrainians, who are being assaulted by enemy infantry, find an opportunity to attack the advancing APCs. The second group of Russian soldiers are dropped a little further away to increase the area they control. Unfortunately, the Ukrainians didn't have enough modern ATGMs like the Javelin to stop this assault early. The Russians, after dropping off the infantry, retreated. The Ukrainians managed to destroy the enemy infantry and hold the position, but if they had more modern weapons, the losses as well as the risk would have been less. The Russians made several more attempts to seize these positions. This lone Russian APC has been given an impossible task. It must deliver infantry to the Ukrainian positions. The ATGM missile hits the target. This single hit is sufficient. The APC becomes uncontrollable. "40 minutes later, a second vehicle arrives. A Russian APC stops after being hit by anti-tank mines. It was fully protected from all sides, but not against landmines. This is what a Russian assault turns into when the Ukrainians have enough weapons. These two APCs decided to cross the field. Suddenly, this happens. A Javelin missile hits one of them. That doesn't stop the second APC. It's confidently moving forward. And there's another hit. The second Javelin missile reaches its target. Another FPV drone crashes into the APC, followed by an RPG missile that fails to detonate. A moment later, another Javelin comes from above. One more FPV. And that's how every attack in which the AFU has enough weapons is stopped. It's a dangerous idea to drive so openly across a field. Ukrainians are using Javelin. The second APC tries to break through, but is met by Ukrainian FPV. One armored personnel carrier is blown to pieces. The second is damaged and abandoned. Two desperate Russian APCs attack Ukrainian positions. Ukrainians engage FPV drones. A Ukrainian drone can be clearly seen in the replay. The APC is stopping. This one has decided to retreat. But the Ukrainian drone is already circling above it. The drone attacks. We can see the attacking drone in the sky. That attack is complete. Let's take a look with you at the Frankenstein tank attack. A Russian armored column headed by such a tank is going to the assault. Ukrainians are actively using artillery and FPV drones. There's a direct hit. APC destroyed. So is this one. Tank and APC moving on. Drone attacks the tank. The driver loses control and the tank falls into an anti-tank ditch. The Ukrainians use the FPV drone to kill the tank. The tank is destroyed.